Hello again. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, Earthlings on planet Earth. How are you all doing today? Okay, I couldn't resist this one. Thank you all very much for your comments yesterday, and I'm so glad you all really enjoyed the trooping of the colour, and thank you Sandra Parrott, who was actually there. I know quite a few of you were actually there, and Sandra got some video, amazing video, which Graham's been posting on his community page, but he's going to put it all into a video and probably put it on his channel and this one. All credit to Sandra Parrott. Wonderful photographs. And she got the aeroplane, you know, with the red, white and blue right over the palace, and she got shots of the royal family that I think the Daily Mail might even want because they're so good. Fantastic. Right, the Duchess of Dior. I couldn't resist this one. Yes, I have seen what the guy said on his podcast from Spotify about Meghan, but I couldn't possibly repeat those words. I don't use such language, as you know. Yes, I've seen all of that. And a lot more besides. But what my thing is PR. And that's one element. Big element of Markle is her narcissism. That's the way it appears to me. The way she treats people, the way she dumps on people, uses them, climbs the pole. It's astonishing. She does it quite unashamedly. She doesn't care. She doesn't care that the whole world's watching. You know, my father, who's he? Prince Philip, that old man, the Queen. You know, she really doesn't seem to care. So, insiders have said, apparently, and I'm picking this up from the Metro, and I just saw it now, and I couldn't resist, that she may well be about to sign to become the new face of Dior. Stop laughing. Stop it. That's mean. We need to take this seriously. Now, what amused me so much, and this is nothing to do with Meghan's physical appearance or her inability to wear clothes that fit her, or, you know, I would have thought that's a fairly major thing for any fashion house, is someone who agrees to wear clothes that aren't too tight, that aren't too big and baggy, that someone that agrees to wear trouser lengths that are normal and not going over the 5-inch stilettos and still dragging another 2 inches on the floor. Someone who doesn't want to wear a chiffon dress until all their back ruckles are tight. I mean, you could put the skinniest person in clothes, and if they don't fit, all kinds of weirdness is going to pop out. I mean, it's just extraordinary. Never ceases to astonish me, but that's not what I'm talking about, the way Meghan looks. What I'm interested in, my other thing, you know, for me, it's narcissism, then the royal family, and then PR. And as PR goes, this is absolute pure gold. Apparently an insider, who I think they refer to as a prominent Beverly Hills socialite. Guesses who that might be? I don't know. Said, Meghan is all anyone is talking about. Yeah, and it's been that way for quite a while. People like me, astonished, watching in horror. Yes, but for all the wrong reasons, I would suggest. That's why a lot of people are talking about her. A lot of people talked about COVID a while back, but again, I would suggest not necessarily for good reasons. There have been rumours for weeks that she's about to sign a deal with Dior, which has put the gossip mill into overdrive. I haven't heard that. I've heard whispers, you know, here for years she's wanted this sort of thing, but that's not what I've heard people talking about. Will Meghan be the face of Dior? No. No, I've heard people saying a lot of other things about her. Are her and Harry getting divorced? Has he finally woken up to the fact his wife's not very nice? Will she lose her defamation suit against her sister, who she's been really quite horrible to? That people have been talking about a lot of things. How fast was the car chase in New York? Was it 2 miles an hour or as fast as 5 miles an hour in traffic? Who called the paparazzi? to Tyler Perry's mansion? That's another thing people are talking about. Why are one of the executives of Spotify calling them effing grifters? Yeah, that's been a talking point. You can imagine around the dinner tables around the planet. But I don't think the Dior thing, but the PR gets better. And to me, that little bit in the sentence, which has put the gossip mill into overdrive. This is a fishing expedition. You know, put the idea out there in PR. This is in Metro, by the way. I will put a link in the description. They're cheap, I suppose. Metro, they're repeating something the Mail on Sunday apparently has put out there. Prince Harry and Meghan announced on Friday they've mutually split from Spotify. It's the insider quotes bit that I love. Looking forward, the talent agency Markle is signed with, William Morris Endeavour, otherwise called Endeavour. Endeavour, doesn't that mean to try hard? Wants to reinvent its client. Okay, get the industrial strength gaffer tape out, guys, if you want to do that. If she pulls that off, then no one will remember her silly little podcast got cancelled after one season, the socialite source added. Oh, silly little podcast got cancelled. Don't think Markle's going to like you say that. Apparently the owner of Endeavour, who's called Ari Emanuel, has thrown all his energy into... You're going to need it, mate. You're going to need every ounce of energy and then some. You know, pop yourself up on some Lucozade and glucose and stuff. We knew the Spotify announcement was coming, they told the Mail on Sunday. It might be a shock to everyone else, but we've been working on rebranding Meghan for weeks. Now this sounds like this is the actual agency talking. We've been working on rebranding Meghan for weeks. So the Beverly Hills socialite is either works for that, I suppose, or is another one of their clients, and they've said, do us a favour, and they've gone, okay, but I don't want to be named. Just call me a Beverly Hills socialite. I don't want my name out there. This particular sentence is absolute pure gold. The offers have been pouring in, including from other podcast platforms. Have they? Have they? Really? The offers have been pouring in. I think it's Hollywood speak for they keep testing the line to see if the phone's actually working because it's not ringing. And it goes on. There was another little beaut in here. Oh, right. They go on about how they mutually parted company with Spotify. No mention of this guy saying they're effing grifters. No mention of that. I bet that agency were like, whoa, that's harsh. So I suspect one thing. Carolina Herrera as a company are probably breathing an enormous sigh of relief. Chanel, Givenchy, who've already been bitten, I think. Huge sighs of relief, left, right and centre, I should imagine. Perhaps she is about to sign with Dior. And good luck to her. If she does, why not? It's a great gig. And I shall watch with great amusement to see how that pans out. I do, however, find it incredibly hard to believe. And I wouldn't mind betting that the directors of Dior are waking up this morning thinking, well, this is news to us. But you see, I think what PR people do is they put these ideas out there so that it puts the thought in the mind of the people and they think, oh, actually, that's not a bad idea. And sometimes that kind of PR does work. We used to have a really beautiful model in the UK called Lorraine Chase. She was stunningly beautiful. She looked a lot like the Duchess of Dior Sussex. And the thing was, they had her in a commercial where some fella walked up to her and said, oh, were you truly wafted from paradise? And to which she said, nah, Luton Airport. And she was really famous in the 70s and 80s. And then never, she was one of those people, you'd look up and think, oh, I wonder whatever happened to her. And someone put a rumour out there saying she was going to star in a very famous soap opera that we have in the UK called Emmerdale. And there was no truth behind it at all. She was interviewed and she said, no, I don't know who put that rumour out, but it put the thought in the minds of the people who ran Emmerdale, and they called her and said, it's not a bad idea. And she played a character called Steph, who was really psychotic and stuff, and she was fantastic in it. So that kind of PR can work, and I think that's Markle's theory. And she's just throwing fishing lines out there, and so are her PR, and waiting for something to stick. The problem she's got is that in between, while they're waiting for things to stick, instead of being like the late Queen and keeping her mouth shut, and then someone might go, actually, that's not a bad idea. We could do with the Duchess to, trading off the title. We could do with the Duchess to sell a few things. She goes and opens her mouth and says a lot of yap, which makes her sound not very nice. And I bet she's still fuming over those photographs yesterday. I just couldn't resist that. I really couldn't. Because I think, to me, the pictures look like she's dropped her guard totally. And that's Meghan. That's how she really is. I do often wonder if one day there will be videos and recordings that come out from Buckingham Palace from her time there. Perhaps. I have heard rumours that there are at least 2 tapes out there that were confiscated. And of course the palace is riddled in cameras and the security people have all kinds of stuff. But what do you make of that? The Duchess of Dior. Goodness gracious me. Delusions of grandeur, eh? As always, thank you very much for listening.